Have you ever thought about what you would do if someone came onto your church campus and created a disturbance, or worse, attempted to harm somebody there right in front of you? Would you have the physical skill to take that person down, to restrain them, and hold them there until the police arrived? Now, a lot of pastors, a lot of boards for churches don't want to think about this, but let me ask you a question. What if someone did come in and attempted to use force or attempted to harm somebody there on campus? What if you're walking around the church and you see somebody who doesn't belong somewhere and you approach that person and they attack you? This past week I read a story about a pastor and a janitor who were in a church, and a whole group of people there in the church were actually confronted by what was described as a person who looked crazy, who was holding a knife and making threats. How would you respond in a situation like that? Nobody really knows until they're really faced with that situation. What we've done is we've created something called Physical Incidents for the Church Security Officer. And what this is a DVD course that comes in 4 DVDs that basically lays it all out for you, starting from what is reasonable, what you're expected to do, and then what we do is we actually show you physical skills to stop someone from harming someone who would come into your church. Now, the reason why we did this is because it is my opinion that this is probably the greatest area of liability for your church security team, because you have two different points on the continuum. The first point is the officer who goes above and beyond the call of duty, who harms somebody and does more because they're actually under stress and they don't realize what they're doing. They just revert back to what their dad taught them when they were a kid. And then you have the other side where the person doesn't do anything, or he doesn't do enough. And so what happens there is that innocent people get hurt. So what we've done here is we've created an opportunity for your team to learn through the medium of DVDs where we discuss a whole bunch of different things. The first thing that I went over, and what this was, is we videotaped a course that I taught to a college security team, specifically Cedarville security team, and they allowed us to tape it from start to finish. And some of the things that are included in this course are, first, what I did is I went over what the law expects a reasonable police officer to do. Now you might say, well, we're not police officers, which we totally understand. But the reason why we talk about that is because it's important for you to know what a police officer is allowed to do and what the standards are before you, as a private citizen, can even begin going down that path of self-defense. So we lay that out. The next thing that we focus on are your local laws. Basically understanding what those local laws, understanding what you can do, and whether you can restrain somebody. That's very important before you carry handcuffs and before you actually take liberty away from somebody. We also discuss the importance of verbal skills, and then we go into several things that you need to think about when we're talking about physical self-defense. So what I mean by physical self-defense is the first thing that we focus on is escort positions. We then move to pressure points, and then we talk about how to do takedowns from different escort positions. I generally use 2 and like to teach 2. We also teach a little bit about joint locks. We teach about handcuffing, the ASP baton. We also go into simple things like searching for weapons and transitioning a suspect to a face-down position if they happen to start resisting or attempting to hurt someone. We also talk a lot about ground fighting, something very simple, but if you don't know how to survive on the ground, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because a lot of confrontations end up on the ground. And it's important for you to know how to get back to your feet, but if you can't do that, how to fight from your back and how to stop an assault from occurring. Also, I deal with the issue of striking and knee strikes. I don't like to teach a lot of different things, but I do like to teach things that work. So understanding how to use your fist, your elbow, your knees, and where to place strikes and how to stop someone from their aggressive movement. And then we also talk about writing your report and how you want to deal with the police. So I'm making this DVD set available to you at a cost of $150. And what this represents is about a total of 3.5 to 4 hours of training. And if you're interested in receiving that, the only thing that you need to do is click on the button below and add it to the cart, and you can check out very easily using our secure server, and we will send these DVDs out to you in about the next 7 to 10 days. Once you get them, watch them before you share them with your security team so that you have a basic understanding of what you can do, and so that you can go through the process of instructing them as to what they can do. Now, an important thing here is that you can adopt what you think works for your team, and you can leave out those things that you don't think would work. So click on the button below, and it's going to take you to our secure shopping cart so that you can make this purchase and get started in training your team in physical incidents for church security.